Are you ready for some mind-blowing information that is going to make you richer? It is what the rich do to avoid paying taxes. Yes, it is not illegal, but in order for me to explain it, I got to give you a little bit of background history, which I will go incredibly quickly. So, there's a way to avoid taxes, and it is by setting up a corporation. But before I do that, why were taxes invented? Well, truthfully, here in America, they were designed to punish the rich, but the rich ended up finding ways around it by starting LLCs and corporations where they could throw money in. But before that, there was no tax in America. It's crazy to think about, especially as like a millennial, you know, some of the stuff we don't learn in school. Why should we learn about finances in school? We learn how to get a profession, but then we're supposed to go work for somebody else, and that's not how you become wealthy. That's how you stay poor, and that is also how you pay the most in taxes. So taxes were designed to punish the rich, and also before that, they were designed to have people chip in for war efforts. England did it for the war on Napoleon. We did it for the first time for the Civil War, like 1861 to 65. But then there was the Boston Tea Party where there was some tax on tea that everyone flipped out. It was about 50 years later, 1913. And that's when we added another amendment, the 16th Amendment, that made it permanent to raise taxes. And then the government got greedy and they decided, hey, we're not just going to tax the rich, but we could also tax the middle class and the poor. And it took 50 years for everyone to have the same ideology. And now you don't know anything different about not paying taxes. So that is that. But how do you avoid paying taxes? Well, what do the rich do? Because a typical person, 90% of people in America, they decide we get a job, you get money, you get a paycheck, you earn, and then you instantly get that deducted. All that like 30%, 20% for all the taxes. You're like, oh man, dang it, it's all deducted out of my check, but we're supposed to get a little bit of a kickback towards the end, which is still a pitiful amount. You save way more when you have your own business LLC. But then you can spend money afterwards. And what the rich do is they wrap up corporations. And they've been doing this ever since the revolution and way back when they had ship parties go out to try to look for treasure. They would set up a little business and they would invest into that. So if all the people on the ship died, well, they're just out what they invested for just that voyage, not anything more. They can make the corporation go insolvent. And this is why you've got guys like Trump that have been bankrupt multiple times, because you start up a business, oh, it's not going well, boom, you're going to keep a bunch of your assets safe. But with a corporation and LLCs, what you can do, and keep in mind, I'm not an accountant. I'm just telling you some information, right? Take it for what it is. It's not financial advice. You have to say it on effing YouTube. But I digress. The point that I am making is when you have a corporation or an LLC, what you can do is you can earn the money, right? Then you can tax deduct everything. You can spend right away where the majority of everyone has to pay taxes. No, you can go to Hawaii, buy groceries, your car payments, blah, blah, blah. It can all be deducted under the business, right? An accountant will help with that because you got to make sure it's kind of, it stays apart. But that is what they do. They follow this very, very gray line. And then after all that is done, they pay taxes on what is left, not the actual amount that they made. Crazy, right? Absolutely freaking crazy. Make sure you stay tuned to this channel for more tips. And I give some stock picks, cryptos. I go over all sorts of stuff on how to obtain wealth, because wealth is designed for how many days you can survive rather than just what is on your balance sheet here, right? We want to have passive income. We want to have low liabilities. We want to have solid investments. Yes, that are risky. That can go to millions and millions of dollars. This whole ideology of, oh, you need to keep your money safe and you can't risk and everything. You can risk quite a bit and make massive amounts of gain, but you can do it, I would say, more safely rather than going after a bunch of meme stuff, GameStop, things of that nature that have already been, let's say they're already at the top, right? But you can still, anyway, subscribe. This is Johnny Crypto, here to help you guys make some money.